This is exactly how I'd find an offer in 2026. You need to go and find people that have an incredible funnel. They have a VSL. They have at least 20, 30,000 followers, right? But the bigger the offer, the more chance, obviously, of an opportunity you've got to get on there, as long as you've got the skill set. What do I mean by that? When you go for an interview, they're going to make sure that you know how to objection handle. They're going to want to see past calls. So if you haven't got the right training, you're not going to get on the offers that are doing like $2, $5, even $10 million a month. Very, very small chance. So if you're new and you're wanting to get into remote sales, you want to go onto Instagram, you want to go onto YouTube, you want to go onto places like LinkedIn, Twitter, and you just want to find out, right? Has this person got a program, sales, professional training that helps someone get from where they are to where they want to go? Then go and do your research, make sure that they've got great testimonials, they've got great reviews, because you want to make sure that you've got conviction behind what you're selling. So that's the first thing that I would do. I would literally go through the funnel and I would go through the whole process and make sure they've already got closes on the offer, because that means that you have a high chance of even getting a chance of an interview. But when you show up to that interview, right, your background is the most important thing. Because think about it, right? You can see my background right now. It's clean, how I'm talking to you. But if you're going to go and speak to the business owner, it's probably going to be the sales manager. The way that you look in the first 3 seconds is also going to determine of how they perceive you, right? Because if you're going to be taking calls on Zoom, they want to make sure that you look crisp, you look professional, you sound good. Because if you don't, then they're going to think, well, the prospect's going to be basically looking at what they're looking at, which is not good. Also, you want to look presentable. You want to look like someone with authority. So make sure you're always wearing a black t-shirt, black polo top. You look crisp, because first impression matters. Number two, in my personal opinion, this is going to be probably the most difficult thing for you to actually do, but it's actually learn the skill first. And if you have no previous sales experience, that doesn't matter, because look, you're on YouTube, you're watching this. There are literally thousands of videos on YouTube that you can go and watch to learn, obviously, how to have a sales call. You know, what we do is we have a 6-step process. You can obviously learn how to objection handle, but it's kind of like a minefield, YouTube. There's a lot of stuff out there, and you've got to try and get all the pieces and see if it obviously fits, so that when you do go to that interview, like, you'll go in there confident. But if you're like me, and obviously my students, we like to have like a system with a step-by-step process, so we know exactly what we're doing on a sales call. So that would be number two, right? You need to make sure you know what you're talking about. You need to have put the reps in. You need to be confident. You can't be one of these egotistical salespeople, like just like I was. You know, I did 10 years in corporate sales, and I would just come to the interview and be like, yeah, I've done millions in face-to-face sales. And it's like, well, what have you done in high-ticket sales? And I was like, well, nothing. And they wouldn't even basically give me a chance, right? So it wasn't until I obviously invested in the program and I got the right sales training, that's obviously what elevated me into high-ticket sales and now changes hundreds of people's lives. So that's number two. Number three is, are you actually ready for rejection? Because sales is going to be a mirror. And if you can't handle rejection, there's no point even you going to apply for offer, because 30-40% of the time, right, you may make a sale. So that means that 60-70% of the time you're going to get a no, unless you're really good and you get to a 50-60% close rate, which is going to take time. So more times than not, you're going to get a no. And if you can't handle that rejection, then that's going to show up from an emotional point, because it's going to trigger you. And then you're going to take that into your next call, and before you know it, you're going to be triggered when they say no. So you need to be able to detach. And a lot of people don't speak about this, and I believe that detachment is one of the most important things. So I'm going to give you some secret things that I personally do, which I would do before you go on to an interview, before even if you get on a sales call. You just want to get yourself into a very clear mindset. What do I mean by that? Flow state. 10 minutes of breath work, where literally it's pretty straightforward, right? 5 in, hold for 5 seconds, let out for 5. Do that 10 seconds. What that's going to do, it's going to regulate obviously your nervous system. It's going to make you feel calm, because look, the number one thing what I teach, right, is about you being truly present to listen to a prospect. And when you listen to that prospect, you're listening to the language of how they label themselves and how they see the world. But if you're distracted, you've come onto that call rushed, you've got outside noise, you're not focused, tunnel vision on serving that person and helping that person, you're going to miss the most important thing that they say, which you could then go deeper on, and before you know it, you get the real reason of why they're actually on that call, which means that you can help them get to obviously where they want to go, because they're actually feeling open because you're listening. Because a person that feels heard becomes more relaxed, and then they're willing to share more about why they're on the call and why they want your support and help. And then the bigger the gap, because you've listened and obviously you're getting them to truly open up on why they're there, it makes it easier for you to get to them. So that's the most important thing. But look, if you want to skip all of that, right, by going obviously doing cold outreach on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, trying to obviously get on an offer because your guru coach has said you to go and do 100 DMs a day because he can't get you an offer. You don't want to learn how to train yourself by watching a load of different YouTube videos and trying to piece it all together. Then I've got something for you, because here at RSA, right, we have a program that gives you the full professional training so that you can get to where you want to go a lot quicker. Yes, that is important, but I'm not going to tell you to go and do 50 to 100 outbounds a day trying to find an offer, because once you have the skill set, you don't want to spend 1, 2, 3 months trying to find an offer. You want to be going straight from finishing the training, right, and applying for an offer. And how do we help you do that? Well, we have our own in-house recruitment team, so that you don't have to go out there into the marketplace and actually look for an offer. We have literally 25, 30 plus opportunities that come to us a day, and we're going to get you interview ready so that you can actually apply for these jobs and have a very, very high percentage of being able to actually land that role, so that you can start making 10, 20, even $30,000 a month. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to be hard? Yes. So you have to step out of your comfort zone to understand that what you want is going to be getting uncomfortable, because the person you are right now, the identity of who you are, has to shed. And there is no better time to get started right now in January, in Q1, so that when you get to the end of 2026, you can say, do you know what? I had the courage to be different. I made a complete career transition. I now make more money. I have more freedom for myself and my family. And look, I get it. Make money online. It all sounds scammy. There's so many gurus. Just go and watch the testimonials yourself, right? Why can I sit here with so much conviction and share what I do? One, because I love what I do. I've been in sales for 15 plus years, and our program gets results as long as you're willing to show up. So if this sounds like you and you want to go out there and do all the hard work yourself, congratulations. That just shows me that you're going to make it, but it might take you 3, 6, 12 months. If you are the person that is like, do you know what? F that. I want to get there quicker. Book a call with myself and my team. We'll show you everything on the inside. You can see all the job board, everything that we have, and we'll help you get to your goals a lot quicker and a lot faster in 2026.